Okay, we're going to go rather quickly through this tutorial. This is basically Photoshop Lesson 3, but using the online program Photopea.com. You're going to click on New Project. You're going to make it inches, 6 inches wide by 4 inches high and 150 dpi, and then choose Transparent. Click on Create, and you're going to get your background. Now, it's actually... It's funny enough, it's a little bit easier to put in the photo in this program than it is Photoshop, because you're going to go to File, Open in Place, and then you're going to choose the file that you downloaded. In this case, it's the Trash on the Beach JPEG. Because we chose Open in Place, it resized the photo and put it on our canvas at an appropriate size. So I'm just going to hit Enter to set the size. And now we're going to go straight over here to use the spot healing brush. Up here you can adjust the size of your brush. We're going to choose something like 50 pixels. And then, smart object must be rasterized. Okay. Now we're going to just paint over the first trash can to get rid of it. Takes a second. Let's try that again. There we go. That worked that time. I want to paint over these cones too and see if we can get rid of those. So the spot healing brush works pretty well. Now, the healing brush, just like in Photoshop, you're going to hold Alt to sample a certain area, and then you should be able to use that area to paint over another area. Now, when I let go of my mouse click, it should try to blend the two areas together, so it's using the pixels underneath and blending them with the pixels from the area I'm sampling. That may work, that may not work, depending on what you're trying to accomplish. The patch tool, however, will let you draw around an object and then drag over to a certain area to sample those pixels and fill them in over that object. So this is a nice option to use. I'm going to draw around these people here, drag over to the sand, and it'll use that sand to blend them out. So I'll try the same thing just in this area here. Sample the sand. It does a pretty good job. Okay, the last thing is the clone stamp tool. Let's try that. Okay, so I'm going to use the Alt key to sample this cone, and then I'm going to be able to paint with that cone anywhere on the screen that I want. Now I'm just having fun. So let me go and I went to the internet and I found a couple of other images. So I'm going to go Open in Place, and I'm going to use my dinosaur image, and I'm going to put him in the foreground here. So something's happening here in this coned off area. So the goal of this assignment is to delete the trash cans, excuse me, and then add elements to create your own scene. So there are other ways to do this too. You could bring in a picture and then select out parts of the image that you didn't want. I chose images that already had the background taken out. So I'm going to go up and open one more, Open in Place, my chicken carcass. And now I can resize this chicken carcass. In this particular program, you do have to hold Shift to constrain the proportions. Then I'm going to rotate it. Maybe I'll... Oopsie. Might want to make it big. Looks like they're squaring off against each other. Hit Enter to set it. And of course, if I was going to save this as a Photoshop file, I'll choose File, Save as a PSD, and then I'll have to move that Photoshop file into my Google Drive. That way I could open it later on my not on my Chromebook, but on the school computer. But to turn this assignment in, I'm going to go File, Export, PNG, and then I'm going to choose, actually everything should be right in here. If it's not, make sure you choose inches, and then click Save, and it should download this project to your downloads folder. So what I would do is make sure I open that, and I go Show in Finder, And then I would rename that file so that you know. I would put it somewhere that you know where it is and rename it. But that's the file you want to turn in. Here's what it looks like. Of course, you're going to make the scene your own, so you're not going to necessarily put a dinosaur and a chicken in there, but you can put in whatever you like.